Hi, welcome to this Hatha Yoga practice. I'm glad you're here. We open this module on our backs in Shavasana. So finding our way there in whatever way feels right for us. All four corners of our back are on the mat. Our arms are spread out wide, our feet are spread out wide. Taking a moment here to breathe. Sutra 46 of Book 2 in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras says, Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam, which means asana is a steady and comfortable posture. According to Sri Swami Satchitananda in his commentary of these sutras, he tells us that Hatha Yoga was created because people found that they had trouble sitting still, and that moving the body and releasing old stuckness helped to make that easier. And so that's what we do here in this Hatha Yoga practice. We are working to remove old stucknesses so that it is more comfortable for us to sit still. Taking a moment to stretch here, whether that's arms over our head, whether that's legs together out front, whatever feels nice, just moving a little bit, feeling a big stretch from the tip of our fingers to the tip of our toes. And when we're ready, we'll return to that Shavasana position, arms by our side at any distance we'd like, legs spread apart, feet fall away from each other. So Sutra 46 of Book 2 says, Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam, which means asana is a steady and comfortable posture. In today's practice, our first asana will be Tadasana, mountain pose, standing tall at the top of our mat. From there, we'll take several sun salutations to warm up our body. Moving into the asana section, we will take and hold 7 different yoga postures before bringing ourselves back here to Shavasana. And after a rest, we'll find our way back to a comfortable seat where we'll sit for a few minutes and play with our breath. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady and comfortable posture. And returning to this asana where we are currently, Shavasana, or corpse pose. Taking a moment to wake our bodies up in whatever way feels nice for us here. So if you want to wiggle fingers or toes, you want to stretch, you want to roll, whatever feels nice, starting to bring some life into our Shavasana. Ultimately, bringing both feet flat on the mat, knees bent. From here, we're going to take a bridge pose, whatever you want with your arms, but lifting your bottom up off of the mat. Taking a moment to reach through the front of your bellies here. Bringing that bottom back to the mat. And noticing all 4 corners of our back in the mat here. Taking a moment to recenter with all 4 corners of our back on the mat. And then sending our left leg long, keeping our right knee bent, we'll take a small twist. So if there's a twist you like, take it. We're going to take a simple knee over the body twist. And so bringing that right knee in towards our chest, we'll give it a hug. And then using our left hand, we'll guide the right knee across the body, getting a twist through that spine. So the standard here is that the hips lift and the shoulders stay flat on the mat. Whatever feels right for you, and putting your hands wherever your hands want to be. Just allowing our spine to get some twist, to allow the fluid to flow between each of the joints. And then untwisting, bringing that right foot back to the mat. And then bending into the left knee, bring the left foot back to the mat. We'll resettle here with all four corners of our back solidly on the mat. So all four corners would be both shoulders and both sides of the hips. Making sure that all four corners are solidly on the mat. And then noticing the center of our back and pressing that into the mat as well. And then taking our right leg, sending it out long, we'll bring the left knee into the chest and give it a hug. If you're taking a different twist, take a different twist. If you're following along, the right hand will guide the left knee across the body. Hips may lift, shoulders may stay on the mat. Arms are going to go wherever the arms want to go. Finding some room in our spine. Wringing out the old stucknesses and allowing the fluid to flow between each of the vertebrae. And when we're ready, we'll release out of this twist. Bringing that left foot back to the mat. And then bending into the right knee, bringing the right foot to the mat. Resettling with all four corners of the back on your mat, and then pressing the center of your back down into the mat. We'll take one more bridge here. So arms can be by the side, they can be above the head, they can be linked under your body, whatever feels nice. We're focusing more on lifting the pelvis towards the sky. Finding a little bit of length along the front side of your body. And then slowly and carefully releasing that bottom back to the mat. Resettling with all four corners of our back and the center of our back pressing into the mat. And then from here, we're going to take any position with our arms and our legs that allow us to keep the center of our back grounded into the mat. So pressing into the mat with the center of our back, we can put our arms and our legs wherever they want, in the air or still on the mat. Anywhere, as long as we're keeping the center of our back pressing into the mat. And we'll hold here for a breath. Releasing our arms and legs, bringing our knees into our chest and giving them a hug. From here, we'll take a couple of rocks along the back of our spine. Whatever feels nice until we're ready. Ultimately, we'll roll all the way up to a standing position. Finding ourselves in Tadasana, or mountain pose here at the top of our mats. So we're standing on our 2 feet, and we're going to melt in this Tadasana. So allowing all the meat on our bones to hang as heavy as it wants to hang. Perhaps relaxing in our knees, relaxing in our joints a little bit, and allowing everything to hang in this melted Tadasana. And then when we're ready, engaging whatever feels like it wants to engage, standing up a little taller, standing up a little straighter. If we're not already there, we're going to come to the front center of our mat, prepping for the sun salutations. Starting out here in this Tadasana, standing mountain pose, gripping the mat with our toes, even weight between all 4 corners of our feet. Our hips are stacked above our ankles. Our ribs and our shoulders are stacked above our hips. Our arms feel centered in our shoulder sockets. Palms are face forward. Fingers are spread wide, and we're almost gripping the sky. And then our head is aligned with our neck. And we breathe here. The sun salutation begins. We bring our hands to heart center. Arms come up overhead. Maybe we take a small back bend. Bending forward at the waist into a fold. And then bringing our hands to the mat, we'll step back with the right foot, drop the right knee, untuck the toe, lift the chest, lunge. Hands come back to the mat, left foot steps back to meet the right in a plank. And then dropping the knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. Sliding forward from here to a cobra or an up dog. Hips to the sky, down dog. Taking a moment in this down dog to stretch and to move or to find stillness, whatever your body is asking for. Maybe your knees want to bend. Maybe your knees want to be straight. Whatever feels good. And then taking that right foot, we'll step it back up between the hands, dropping the left knee, untucking the toes, lifting the chest, lunge. Bringing the hands to the mat, the left foot steps forward in a fold. And then we stand tall, arms to the sky, baby back bend, releasing our hands by our side. Other side, hands will come to heart center. Arms go up and overhead, baby back bend. Belly button to spine will fold forward in a fold. Stepping back with the left foot, dropping the knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, we'll take a lunge. Hands come back to the mat, right foot steps back to meet the left in a plank. And then dropping knees, chest, and chin to the mat. There's a small curve in the low back here. And then sliding forward to either cobra or up dog. Sending the hips to the sky, down dog. And then taking the movement you'd like here. Finding whatever feels good to get the stretch that feels nice for you. Stepping forward with that left foot, dropping the right knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, arms to the sky, lunge. Hands come back to the mat, right foot steps forward to meet the left in a fold. Releasing here for a moment. If your knees want to be bent or your knees want to be straight, if your arms want to hang, whatever feels good, just pausing here in this fold. And then coming to stand tall, arms to the sky, baby back bend. Hands by our side. Taking a moment to reset here in our Tadasana, and then we'll repeat this on the right side. So hands will come to heart center. Arms will go up overhead, baby back bend. Belly button to spine, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. We step back with the right foot, drop the knee, untuck the toe, lift the chest, arms may come up in a lunge. Bringing our hands back to the mat, left foot steps back to meet the right in a plank. And then dropping knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Sliding forward to a cobra or an up dog. Hips to the sky, downward dog. And then right foot steps forward between the hands, dropping the left knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, arms may come up in a lunge. Hands come back to the mat, left foot to meet the right in a fold. Standing tall, maybe a baby back bend. Releasing our arms by our side. Hands come to heart center. Arms come up overhead, baby back bend. Belly button to spine in a fold. Stepping back with the left foot, dropping the knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, arms may come up in a lunge. Hands back to the mat, right foot step back to meet the left in a plank. And then dropping knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. Sliding forward to a cobra or an up dog. Hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And then left foot forward between the hands, right knee drops, untuck the toe, hands come up for a lunge. Hands back to the mat, right foot steps forward to meet the left in a fold. Standing tall, maybe taking a baby back bend, releasing our hands by our side. One more time on each side. So hands will come to heart center. Arms will come up overhead, baby back bend. Belly to spine, forward fold. Right foot steps back, dropping the knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, lunge. Hands back to the mat, left foot steps back to meet the right in a plank. Dropping knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Sliding forward to a cobra or an up dog. Hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward between the hands, dropping the back knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, lunge. Left foot steps forward to meet the right in a fold. Coming to stand tall, baby back bend, arms by our side. Hands to heart center. Arms come up overhead, baby back bend. Belly button to spine, forward fold. Left foot steps back, dropping the knee, untucking the toe, lifting the chest, lunge. Hands back to the mat, right foot steps back to meet the left in a plank. And then dropping the knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Sliding forward in a cobra or an up dog. Hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Left foot between the hands, right knee drops, untuck the toe, lift the chest, lunge. Hands to the mat, right foot comes forward to meet the left in a fold. And then coming to stand tall, chest to the sky, releasing our arms by our side, returning to that Tadasana pose. Taking a moment to breathe here in a melted Tadasana, letting the meat hang heavy off of our bones. And then taking any movement that feels nice for you. I always feel like I want a little bit of a head rub, but whatever feels good. Moving, releasing, relaxing for a moment. before ultimately we're going to find our way into child's pose. So however you want to get there is perfect, but we will all meet in child's pose. On our knees, hips sit back towards our heels, forehead towards the mat, arms wherever the arms want to be. We'll remain in child's pose for about 3 minutes. So if you want to place a prop between your forehead and the mat or between your bottom and your heels, that will make it more comfortable for you to be here for 3 minutes, then please do. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady and comfortable posture. As we settle into this child's pose, we are looking for a place where our body feels steady and comfortable. If you have some wiggles as you're settling in here, take them. If as your body melts, your child's pose wants to get a little smaller, get a little smaller. If your child's pose wants to expand a little wider, expand a little wider. Looking for the place where we can be steady and comfortable. Breathing into this child's pose. Finding any small movement that feels nice for you. Before ultimately rolling up and coming to sit on our knees. Taking our time, slowly coming up. From here, we're going to move around onto our backs. So backs come flat on the mat, knees are bent, feet flat on the mat. Our second asana is a shoulder stand. If that's not something that's great for your body right now, then please do take a bridge, taking the depth and the arm placement that feels good for you, that you can hold and be steady and comfortable. If we're taking the shoulder stand, we'll bring our knees in towards our chest, we'll lift our bottoms up off the mat. Comes up as high as feels nice for us, our hands will come to our low back to support. Pausing here where we first sort of landed in this shoulder stand to reset. And then if we'd like to get a little higher with it, we can bring our knees in towards our chest. We can scooch our elbows a little further behind our back, and then lifting our pelvis up towards the sky. And if we'd like, we can re-straighten those legs. We'll stay here for about a minute. And so finding that place where you can be steady and comfortable. Not straining as hard as we possibly can. This is not about getting as deep into the posture as we might be capable of. This is about finding that edge where we can hold it for about a minute. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady, comfortable posture. Whether we're in bridge or shoulder stand, we're going to release slowly out of this posture. So one vertebra at a time coming back to the mat. If we're in shoulder stand, we may want to bring our feet a little further over our head to act as a counterbalance. Our hands can stay on our low back to support as we come down. Or we can also bring our hands by our side, palms face down, and use our hands as brakes as we come down vertebra by vertebra to the mat. Once our bottom hits, we're going to continue slowly, bringing our legs back to the mat. When I'm coming down slowly like this, I like to almost do it in stages. So I move a little, I pause, I move a little, I pause, I move a little, I pause. Taking my time, bringing those feet ever so slowly all the way back to the mat. And when we get here, releasing our arms and legs however it feels comfortable, we'll take a few breaths in Shavasana. On the exhales, we breathe out any tension that we brought into our body from that posture. There's value in the tension, but we don't want to bring it with us to the next asana. And so we relax here in Shavasana, allowing ourselves to let go. Bringing any movement that might feel nice back into our body. Breathing some life back into this Shavasana. From here, we'll bring our knees into our chest, and we're going to rock up to a seated position. If you'd like to take a couple of rocks on your way, feel free. At some point, we'll all rock up and meet in a seated position, our legs stretched forward in front of us. Depending on your body, you may like to put a cushion under your bottom here. A little bit of extra lift can help us to find some more stability and get a little deeper into a forward fold. We'll start though with staff pose. So arms are by our side, hands are pressing firmly into the mat. And so we're lightly gripping the mat with all 5 fingertips. we're pressing firmly into the mat with all four corners of our palm. And then rolling our shoulders open a little bit, we're stretching forward across the collarbone, and then pressing a little more firmly into the mat and lifting up from our belly button. So instead of trying to lift our bodies with our arms, we're trying to lift up with our core as we press down from our shoulders. Moving forward into the fold, we're going to release the arms, bring them out forward in front of us. Maintaining that lift from our belly button, we're going to start to fold forward. So vertebra by vertebra is going to roll forward above the other. So we're not keeping a straight back here. We are taking a bent back. Our arms are slowly going to come down next to our knees. If they get there, they'll land by the side, palms face up. We can always place any sort of prop between our legs and our head if that will help us to be comfortable, as again, we're going to hold this asana. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady and comfortable posture. Releasing out of this posture, taking our time, slowly coming back up to that seat. Taking any movement that feels nice. I like to give my head a couple scratches. Maybe give my face and my ears a little bit of a rub. And then I like to counter this posture with an inclined plane. So if you'd like to take that, our arms will come behind. We'll lift our pelvis up towards the sky, finding some length in the front of our body, really focusing on the pushing up of that pelvis to counter the fold from the forward fold. Releasing out of the inclined plane, we're going to find our way over to our bellies. However you want to get there, meeting on our bellies. Our toes will touch, our heels will fall away from each other. Our arms will come to make a little pillow above our heads. And then we'll rest our forehead on our hands. If you'd like, you can feel free to turn your head to one side or the other. As we relax here, taking note of which hand is on top of the other. No right or wrong, just making a note of which hand is on top of the other. The next time we come back to rest on our bellies, we'll switch hands. Our fourth asana is bow pose. Our fourth asana is bow pose. Option 1, if bow is not where you want to go today, is to take a baby cobra. So the tops of your feet, your thighs, and your hips press into the mat. Your hands come to your side somewhere near your ribs. Pressing into the mat with all four corners of your palm, gently lifting your chest off the mat. Finding a place where you can get here and hold. So going just as deep as is right for you today. If you'd like to take bow pose today, we'll bring our chest back to the mat. Bending into our knees, we'll bring our heels to our bottoms, and then grabbing onto the outsides of our ankles with our hands. This is step 1. Perhaps we stay here and we simply focus on pressing our pelvis into the mat. Step 2 is we keep pressing into the mat with our pelvis, and then we also press into our hands with our feet. And if this feels good, step 3, we press into the mat with our pelvis, we press into the hands with the feet, and then we gently start to lift our chest off the mat. We'll hold this for about a minute. And so again, taking the depth of this posture that feels right for you. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Sthira, sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady and comfortable posture. Finding the place where we can continue to breathe. Wherever we are, we'll release out of this posture. Coming back to rest on our bellies. Big toes touch, heels fall apart. Hands will come under our heads, stacking the opposite hand on top of the other. Forehead stacks on top of our hands. If you'd like to turn your head to the other side, feel free. Taking a moment to breathe out any tension that we collected in our body from that posture. There's value in the tension, but we don't want to take it with us into the next posture. From here, we're going to find our way to our hands and our knees. Our next asana is crow pose, but that may not be the right pose for you. A couple of options would be to take table. You could send your knees back and take a knees plank. You could bring your knees forward and really focus on bringing weight into your hands. Gripping the mat with all 5 fingertips, pressing into the mat with all 4 corners of the palm, the pits of our elbows face forward, pressing into the mat, lifting the center of our back towards the sky, finding some separation in our shoulder blades here. If we want to progress forward, maybe we'll keep our hands on the mat, but step up into a squat. This first squat I'm taking here is very low. I'm pressing into the mat. I'm focused on bringing weight in my hands. Perhaps your squat is more upright and your hands are in front of your chest. Perhaps your squat is not as deep as mine and your elbows rest on your knees. Or perhaps even your squat is higher and your elbows are not resting on your knees. Whatever feels good for you here. If we are going all the way into crow pose, our hands are going to come to the mat, fingertips gripping, all 4 corners of our palm pressing into the mat. Our knees will come as far up into our armpits as we can get them, And then we'll shift our shoulders forwards over our hands. We'll lift one foot, we'll lift the second foot, we'll balance here. Finding a place on our mat that we are staring at can help us to hold our balance. Continuing to breathe. If you step out and you want to come back in, step out and come back in. We'll hang here for just a bit longer. And then when we're ready to release, our feet come back to the mat. Our hands continue to stay on the mat. And then wherever you are, walking our feet forward so we take a bent leg forward fold with our hands flat on the mat. The crown of our head drops all the way down, so the crown of our head reaches down towards the mat. Knees are as bent as they want to be bent. And then if and only if it feels nice, maybe we'll take a grip behind our legs somewhere, or maybe opposite elbows, whatever feels nice. And maybe we'll straighten our legs just a little bit. Letting ourselves hang and breathe. We'll take about 60 seconds to stand up here. So really allowing our bodies to hang ever so slowly, rolling up, letting our heads be the last thing that comes, so our heads continue to hang heavy. If you get high and suddenly you want to fold back further, fold back further. We still have about another 30 seconds before we will all meet in a standing Tadasana or mountain pose. Meeting in that Tadasana pose, resetting here. And then our final asana in this sequence is triangle. So we'll step back with our right foot perpendicular to our front foot. Finding some level and some centering in our hips here, maybe even just wiggling them around. Finding a place that feels nice. Option one here is an extended side angle. An extended side angle, we're going to bend into that front knee. Our right arm will come up by our ear. Leaning over to the side, our left shin will come to our left thigh, and we'll stretch here. If this is as far as you'd like to go, stay here and continue to stretch. If you're going to take full triangle, we'll come back up tall. We'll straighten that front leg. We'll reach forward with our left hand, and then that left elbow will come either to our shin or to the ground, and the right arm comes up and over our head, really focusing on the side body stretch here. Then coming to stand back up tall. We'll reverse to the other side, so both feet face forward for a moment. And then turning the right foot to face the back of the room. Finding that strength and that level in our hips first. Option one here is the extended side angle, so we bend into that right knee. The left arm comes up by our ear, up and overhead. The right forearm may rest on the right thigh. If this is as far as you're going to go, stay here. If you want to take this into a triangle, we straighten that right knee. We're going to reach forward first and then over. So the left arm again is by our ear, up and overhead, really focusing on that side body stretch. Our right arm may rest on our thigh or it may reach down towards the ground. Whatever feels nice. Breathing into the left side of our body. And then coming back up tall, stepping both feet back up to the front of the mat. We'll reset here in Tadasana. If your body wants any movement, taking that movement. I love the little, face rub, shoulder scratches, whatever feels good for you. Before ultimately finding our way back to our backs for one final Shavasana. And so whatever that looks like, coming to rest on our backs, our arms are by our side, however far apart they want to be, our legs are spread wide, toes fall apart. Taking a moment here to breathe, to let go, and to exhale any tension that we brought into our body during these asanas. The tension has value. We don't want to bring it forward. Bringing our awareness to our toes, to our feet, ankles, lower leg, knees, upper leg, pelvis, to our belly and our back, to our chest and our shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, hands, all 10 fingers, back to our shoulders, our neck, our head, and our face. taking any movement that feels nice. Be it large, be it small, there's no rush. Beginning to breathe some life back into our Shavasana. We will ultimately meet in a seat. If you want to roll to your side first, that's certainly an option. At your pace, taking your time, ultimately finding our way to a comfortable seat. That seat can be on the floor. Legs could be crossed, you could be on your knees. That seat could be on a cushion. It could be in a chair. It could be with your back up against the wall. Somewhere that you can sit for about 5 minutes while we play with our breath. So again, it does not matter what your comfortable seat looks like. What matters is that we find an asana that feels steady and comfortable. While we're here, we'll do a little bit of pranayama or breath practice. And so initially we're going to breathe into a count of 4. So in, 2, 3, 4. We'll hold that 3, 4, and then we'll exhale 2, 3, 4. Again, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. We'll repeat the same pattern, in 4, hold 4, but we'll breathe out for 8. So in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll repeat that count, and we're going to sync it with some left and right awareness shifts in our body. So bringing our awareness to the left side of our body, we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Switching our awareness to the right side of the body, we'll breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maintaining our awareness on the right, we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Bring our awareness to the left side of our body, we'll breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go in left, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, right, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, left, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, right, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, left, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, right, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Returning to a breath that feels steady and comfortable. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Sthira sukhamāsanam. Asana is a steady and comfortable posture. As we bring this practice to a close, if you are in a posture that feels steady and comfortable, and you'd like to remain where you are, feel free to remain where you are. As we bring this practice to a close, I will chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. If you'd like to join me, I'll breathe in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Blessings and gratitude, my friends. Thank you for being here. I hope I'll see you next time.